welcome to my channel. Welcome to this week's WiPnChat. We're working on Galaxy. I have a fresh hot cup of tea. I have actually had a coffee this morning. Few things, as always, to tell you, to share, to, you know, shoot the breeze with. But if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are not getting my notifications, make sure the little bars are going around the bell for the notifications, and that way you'll get to know if I post or whatever. And this week I've been doing both posts. I haven't done any shorts. I don't know what they are yet, other than short videos, and apparently they don't stay very long. Don't know, have to maybe investigate that one. So yeah, I've done some posts because I didn't do a WiPnChat during the week last week because I was doing a training course and I had a retreat last weekend. I normally record on the weekends, so my only recordings really this week were for my vlog. Now, if you would like to have access to my vlogs, you do need to be a Patreon. For that, you subscribe at the beginning of the month usually, but you get access to all my Patreon vlog videos, and it's basically like sitting down having a cup of coffee with me, and you know, it works out at $5 a week for the Patreon vlogs. I'm here, I've got Sophie in the background. Marcus has gone out to get some boys' toys. He's working on lighting and shelving in the kitchen, so my kitchen's going to be out of bounds and hopefully not too noisy when he does get home. Hopefully he's not doing any more drilling and stuff, but no doubt he'll make noise. So there's that. I'm only going to work on, well, I've chosen a fairly small patch, but we'll see how we go on that. If you don't want to commit once a month to the Patreon, there is always the coffee for the occasional donation, gift. And that can be the price of a coffee, or, because that's how coffee kind of works, Ko-fi, C-O-F-I. That's how the coffee kind of app works. You can either subscribe or you can get a regular payment, or you can just do a one-off kind of, hey, have a coffee on me kind of thing. So, you know, if that's what you choose to do, yay, thank you very much. And I will really, really enjoy the few coffees that I have. I've had more coffee this week than I have for a little while. I'll talk about that more when I go through. So, have you been? The tape down here, that's basically just marking so I know where the plastic ends, because that plastic is a pain in the butt ski to see. I think that means hubby's home. I can hear the boot beeping. He was getting I was going to say carpet liners. He was getting shelf liners. He's buying this heavy duty vinyl to put in the shelves in the kitchen. What?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. No, you can't. No, you can go eat your breakfast. You can go and eat your breakfast. Child. I'm recording. So yeah, he's basically lining with this heavy duty kind of vinyl roll, and then we're putting these heavy duty baskets so we can actually slide the contents of the baskets out. They're actually quite heavy when you fill them with the jars and all that kind of thing. Anyway, pen. Alright, I am choosing my Bethlehem olive. Now, you'd have to, for accuracy, you'll need to go into my pen videos, so my accessories videos, and get the details on this. I'm trying to think of who the pen maker was. It might have been Jim, or I don't think it was Daniel. Oh, it might be Daniel Oleander. Yeah, he is a Lace and Lathe Works. Possibly Daniel did this, but it could have been Jim Handmade Pens. I can't remember. I think it might have been Dan. Anyway, it's gorgeous. It's Bethlehem olive, and it's from the Holy Land. What they do from a sustainability point of view, whenever they prune the trees, they give the bits of wood to whoever. And a lot of the pen turners can actually get hold of this Bethlehem olive. And I didn't dispense drills. They can get hold of the Bethlehem olive offcuts for pen turning, and you can have your very own Bethlehem olive that, well, you know, was probably kicking around when Jesus was, because the olive trees are that old. They are, you know, 2,000-year-old olives in the region. So this is from Bethlehem, and as I said, it's a sustainability thing. They prune the trees to make them healthy, and as a result, the tree keeps growing, and we get something that, you know, is a little bit special. Ooh, bit of static. Come on, Gideon. A lot of static. I have some dryer sheet here. The thing is, when you get staticky drills like that, they actually spring bedoing off wherever you're working. So that goes in rather unceremoniously. It will get shaken up as well. To spread the love of the dryer sheet, sorry, you didn't actually get me showing you that. I've basically stuffed the dryer sheet down with the pen. So, keep the Ziplocs. Ugh, my bean's gone. I have envelopes that I use as my bin behind me, as my kind of, ooh, little bit of rubbish kind of thing. So yeah, it's gone. Rightio, we're ready to drill. So if you haven't already recognized, this is Galaxy. It's all the purples. Seriously, if you want to work with purple, this is the one. This is 327 color. I'm currently stitching, maybe I finished it last night. Sorry, bed hair. It's up in a French braid, flat thing. I'm currently stitching, I think, with 154, and it's gorgeous. Or maybe have finished 154 last night. I'm stitching from the retreat piece still, Autumn in Stars Hollow, and loving it. It's little bits of color blocking, so I get to do 200, 300 stitches all in the one color, all in the one area, and I think I finished like, it felt like 10 colors yesterday. It was just like stitch after stitch, you know, color, finished, color, finished, color, finished. It was such a good feeling getting the zeros. And that's the beauty, I think, with something like Pattern Keeper, is you actually see your countdown. Things like diamond painting, you actually don't see the countdown. I don't know what colors in my tray here I've actually finished completely. But with Pattern Keeper, oh, it's great. You get to finish the patterns and see all the zeros. It's quite fulfilling, even though the piece might be a million miles from finished or just a little way from finished. And it tells you how much percentage you've done. So I think as of sometime yesterday, it was over the 80% finished. I'm still missing 2 of the big colors over on the right hand side. I don't know if they're in yet. It's a little bit frustrating now that I'm actually in the section. I don't want to be at a stage where I have to put it down and then wait, because picking it back up again is like, oh, right. Anyway, I'll get there. I will get there. So in the meantime, I'm doing this. I did actually consider doing this WiPnChat, balling up my Bridgerton yarn, but decided against it, seeing as I'm so near to finished on Galaxy, and yeah, I thought I'd get this one kind of finished. Let's go for the finishes rather than the new starts. So yeah, that's where we're at. This pen, I've actually put the 4-placer everlasting tip on. These are the genuine everlasting tips from Western Australia, from Nicole, I think it is. They do cost a small fortune, and I know there are makers over in the States now selling them, and I know you can now get these on both AliExpress and I think Amazon also have a seller or 2 or 3. Some of the ones on AliExpress, you actually don't see the tips. It just gives you a written description. Oh, my blue tack is a little bit dry. So I'm gonna top it up and smoosh it round just to renew it that little bit. It's gonna ooze out, but it will pick up so much quicker. So you can get them, and I know the States are selling them all over. You've got the Patriotic Team sell them, Terry machines them, and there are other pen companies that are selling them as well. I think maybe Diamond Penz with a Z are selling them too, but don't hold me to that. But you can definitely get them stateside, which is, I suppose, if you're stateside, so much better than buying from Australia and shipping in. However, in saying that, I have also seen the ones that have the numbers stamped on them. If you're a bit of a derp and you need to know how many drills it's going to take, maybe if you use one of every size, it's going to be helpful. But I think you get used to the size, like that's a 4 and that's a 7 and that's a kind of a gimme. But it is on all of these plastic ones, so this is an 11, and to be honest, when you're going to pick up drills, I don't think it really matters. If you have a long line of stuff, you can either make it fit or not. But it is handy when you're learning your sizes and you're not familiar with them just yet. But I think you find a lot of people who multi-place, it's rare to get color blocking that will accommodate this bad boy. I think actually there's a bigger one. I think this is the 15. Yeah. So there's a 14 and there's a 15. You're not going to get many paintings that actually accommodate these big sizes. Maybe on something like Nightbringer, Rachel's 310 Life that she did. And a few people have got that now, but it's all the black background. And Brooklyn, I think it's Brooklyn or New York. Diamond Art Club had one, and it was basically a white background. It's a particular style of this artist. It's a white background and all the buildings are done in rainbow stylistic colours. And you've got some colour splashes, but pretty much, my nail is broken. It's catching on everything. And I can't remember, haven't looked when my appointment is due, but hopefully it's next week because I've got quite a bit of nail growth. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, this particular artist, there's a lot of white in the background, but most of the paintings that DAC do are more confetti kind of heavy. You know, you get the mid-size color blocks as opposed to the monstrous sizes. So yeah, 7 and 4 is a nice, comfortable sweet spot, and you do blast through when you multi-place with that really, really quickly. And look, I'm placing with 2s here on a 4-placer head. Now I'm going to place 3. You know, and you've just got that little bit of versatility, and it just goes nice and quickly. But DAC do seem to coincidentally have their color blocks run in 2s and 3s. Yeah, and you just end up with most of the head used rather than, you know, wielding this ungainly monster of a head that you can't kind of lean or rock or things like that. So yeah, practice though. See how you go. And it does take time to learn. Don't put pressure on yourself. In fact, for anyone learning a new skill, there was something I was taught forever ago in church. The sermon was talking about learning skills and where you're at, and there's 4 learning skills. So there's the beginner, which is consciously incompetent. And then there's the intermediate, unconsciously competent, and then there's consciously competent, no, hang on, unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, so you know you don't know. Then there's consciously consciously competent, then unconsciously competent, meaning that you can just do it, and then there's something else, and I can't think what it is. And everyone goes through this learning familiarity, where you're learning, and then you know a little bit, but not everything, and then you know much more, and then you are kind of like expert level, proficient in what you do. Unconsciously competent is probably the final kind of thing, or you, I don't know. Anyway, don't mind me. So when you're learning, to get the muscle memory kind of learning, do it slowly. Do it, you know, oh, what am I doing? I'm getting 4 here, so I'm going to place it here, and then I'm going to get the 4, and I'm going to give it a bit of pressure, and then I'm going to pick it up. Okay, I've got 4. And then I'm going to place it, and I'm going to place it purposely, really carefully. Okay, now, after a bit of practice, it might feel like you're going really slow, but after a bit of practice, you will naturally speed up. You will pick them up, and you'll go pick up, down, pick up, down. And your speed does increase, so please don't stress that you're going super slow or anything like that when you're learning. It's something that will come much more fluidly to you as you gain experience. You know, and if you do the steps correctly in the beginning, you have less bad habits. I touch type, and when I learned to touch type, I didn't kill the bad habits in the beginning. So now I delete as fast as I touch type, because my fingers go faster than my brain, and I'm reading and it's kind of like, ah, typo. And I actually delete immediately rather than then going back later and proofreading. I mean, yeah, so my proofreading is not the quickest. So I normally proofread after I've hit send, or you know what it's like, autocorrect, yeah. Terrible. And of course on my phone, for some reason, I might say seek a toy, and I swipe in seek, and then I put in A, and it adds the A to the seek, so it becomes Sika, and it's like, ugh. And then I catch it afterwards, and it's like, oh. And my phone forever says of instead of if, and it's like, oh, you phone. Yeah. Anywho, but yeah, the one bugbear I do have with my typing is, I'm good, I'm fast, but I'm not accurate, because I didn't work on accuracy back when I didn't have the speed, and as a result now I have bad habits. But I can type fast. But if I was taking notes in an office setting, you know, where you've got to take minutes or something, oh, holy cow, no, that's just not going to be accurate at all. It, you know, that's where I'd probably resort to handwriting with notes, you know, because the handwriting, you did it until it was right, correct even, and heaven help you if the teacher found your writing was substandard. You know, I never found a handwriting style until I was in high school. And when I was in high school, my first high school was actually all girls. I hope that's not too loud. He's just at the corner. We've with the high wind last weekend, we had a link stretch because the wind was 100-kilometer gusts. It was crazy. It was a little bit scary because, you know, I kind of thought, oh, it's going to rip the shade sail out of the house. Anyway, it didn't, but it did crack a link. So yeah, with the handwriting, we just had to have it right. But it was only when I moved to the high school that I had a girl in class who wrote her S's in a strange way. They were like, she had her normal S, and then she had this funky tail at the bottom, and she did her M's a different way. And up until then, I'd been writing as you were bloody taught, cursive kind of thing. I didn't have my own style. My sister had her own style of tiny writing. And it was only in high school when I developed mine. So my eyes effectively look like a cursive D almost. It's quite swirly. My M's are just a slope in the top of the back, not a bump. Yeah, so it was quite late when I developed my own style. In Australia, they seem to have a predominant style of print writing, and it looks like something out of primary school. They don't develop cursive. They don't teach cursive. I've got a colleague at work who writes in cursive, and he will actually take his time and write with this big cursive, you know, by the book that you would expect anyone over the age of 50 to actually do. It's really beautiful. It's easy to read. But yeah, whereas I kind of spider scroll, and some other people that I've come across said that they used to have nice writing until they went to university, and then it just went whoosh, you know, as happens when you have to scribble fast taking notes. That was the old way of learning in uni. You know, you had to write notes. I think now the kids are maybe writing notes, maybe dictating, maybe recording, and they actually just record the lecture, or they're writing straight into a tablet that then converts it immediately to notes, and they don't have to do any of this weird ass transcribing later or anything like that. And it's just like, wow. You know, or the instructor might give them the PowerPoint presentation. That's something that I've come across in my training sessions. Is kind of like, you know, oh, we're all here for this kind of learning, and oh, we'll just email you the link to be able to access the program. And it's like, okay. You know, it's quite incredible the amount of help and assistance you get as a adult learner these days. In some ways. And it's also really weird. It's kind of like, oh, we're all in an adult learning environment here, and, you know, if you need to go to the toilet, need to take a phone call, that's fine, just pop out, you know, blah, blah. We understand that you've got to take phone calls. Whereas back when I was more of a student in training, it was like, you scratch your arse here, you go to the toilet here, and it was all very prescriptive, you know. Adult learning is markedly different from the babying that's done. It's quite strange, really. And it's funny because, yeah, it's just interesting how things have changed. And a lot of us that were on this training course were all remarking, oh, you know, back in the day we wouldn't have been able to sit here and do this. It's quite funny. So yeah, last weekend I was doing the Autumn in Stars Hollow. I keep mixing it up with Autumn Lane Stitchery. Oh my god. Autumn in Stars Hollow retreat in a box. I'm still waiting for my box to arrive. It's been a week sitting in Melbourne after over 10 days sitting in Illinois. It's like, far out. Just give me my box already. So it's been handed over to my local carrier. So it will probably arrive Monday. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen any sneak peeks. The only sneak peek I have had is the pattern. And from what I have heard, people are gushing over this box saying, oh my god, it's the best box ever. And it's been a hoot doing the retreat. Yes, I have withdrawal from the group. We actually have a stitching meetup, Black Needle Society, if you're part of the Facebook group. I don't even know if you have to be a subscriber, maybe just part of the Facebook group. Katie and Laura have a stitching meetup once a month, and tomorrow morning for me is their meetup. So I think it's, I don't know, 6 p.m. Central Time, which works out to me about, what is it, 10 o'clock, no, 7 in the morning, maybe earlier. Pretty early. I don't think, no, we're not 10 hours. 10 hours is GMT, and then they're 4 behind. So, anyway. There might be, I'll work it out. It's early for me, I think. So I get to play with them, and it'll be really nice to catch up. And I think then the following week is my in real life stitching group. So my women in person group. That's if COVID doesn't get into the state before then. The mainland has completely lost its shit. Sydney is spreading rapidly. They're not getting a handle on it. There are protests planned this weekend. Seriously, you fucking idiots. If you don't value your own life, I don't give a shit. But value somebody else's, please. And it's pure selfishness. They've actually banned in Sydney taxi drivers being able to go into the city, like Uber, all of that kind of thing. They're banned between the protest planned hours tomorrow. I think they've even brought in the army. It's just mental. The last protest, some jerk punched a troop horse in the face, and he got charged, and look, you're putting everyone at risk. This, you know, the COVID's now in regional Victoria. Bunnings have closed. Bunnings is the big tool kind of building supply store here in Australia, where all Aussie blokes go play. It's their toy shop, seriously. And Bunnings has been open, and Bunnings in New South Wales or Bunnings in Sydney has actually closed to protect both the customers and the staff. So that's a fairly drastic move, to be honest, because it means that the tradies can't get supplies, which means that the tradies can't work and do anything. And it really brings down the essential workers to food. And because people were going out to Bunnings, you know, for a day out kind of thing almost. It's kind of like, oh, well, now I'm home, I can do this repair job. And they could get their tools and stuff. So now they don't have that option. To be honest, lockdown does not bother me. Unfortunately, I am an essential worker. And I don't get the benefit of a lockdown of being able to stay home. Nor would I probably be able to not work the stuff that I could do at home even. So I'd still be working. So it's not like I could kick back and stitch. I think that's more my point. You know, whereas if you're in retail or whatever, you know, if you can't work, you can't do it at home either. There was instructions actually on the mainland that they had to let people work from home, if at all possible. But yeah, instead I'd probably be going into my office and then working remotely, so working from Zoom there, but with access to all of my work supplies and all of that kind of thing, and just doing virtual office duties, which would be interesting. Yeah, Marcus has literally today got me a mask pack for my bag, to be able to kind of go, ooh, you're coughing on me? Okay, my mask is just here. You know, and I can mask up until now. We just haven't needed that. So, yeah. And they're being really careful about who they let in. We're still getting fuck knuckles flying in without permission. They're getting put into the hotel and then getting booted off the island again. I've just missed a whole load of H's. So, biosecurity are doing a bang up job of keeping on top of these idiots who really don't care about our state being COVID free, which is really frustrating. Yeah. In other news, my son and his wife had their baby yesterday. No, the day before now. The day before yesterday. They had a baby boy. They hadn't got a name straight away. They were undecided, but they have got a name now. It's a gorgeous Irish name. It's Killian. He looks to be blonde. The couple of photos that I've seen, actually will call him after I'm finished here. Try and catch up with them, because again, you know, I work and I can't get away just to kind of go, oh, I'm going to make a phone call when I'm supposed to be training or whatever, or have commitments that I can't digress on. But you'll get more info on that in my vlogs, because that's where I can be more kind of open and say more, I guess, or share more privately. So yeah, he's in Sydney. God knows when we're going to get to see them. He's in lockdown. We can't get up. He can't get down. There's no way the Tasmanian... Oh, I apologise. Sorry about that. I will probably have edited out the extreme noise, or what I might do is just drop the volume. I don't know. I will have edited it out. He's tightening screws with the beast of all screwdrivers. It's huge. And it was making a horrific noise. It was actually sending my microphone through the roof. So yeah, grandchild, so he won't be able to visit, we won't be able to visit. I'm sure as soon as the borders, when they lift, my ex will be able to get up, his dad, and See, bub. But for now, God knows when he's going to be in my arms, which kills me that I don't get to cuddle newborn baby. Yeah. Fuck you, COVID. And I'm not excusing the French. There's two, maybe three. Okay, there's three things that it's like a real F you. COVID, cancer, and mosquitoes. They're my three. Major hatred towards. Yeah. What are your three? Do you have three? Do you just have one? Look, it has screwed up so many plans. It screwed up his wedding. It's screwed up the birth. Like, we didn't even plan, we didn't even budget for a trip because there's just no point. You know, to get there. But, you know, we planned for the wedding and we got stymied on that one. Yeah. Bloody COVID. Anyway. So yeah, there's some good news there. I don't know what the middle name they're using might be. That will be interesting. You know what he's gone and done though? My son, when he got married, because this is the thing, you can do this, right? It doesn't matter which spouse does it. If you want to change your name, you can by marriage. So if you're a guy who doesn't like the family name for whatever reason, you can by law legally change it. Now it's confusing the hell out of the government agencies apparently that my son is changing his name. I don't know why, because even gay couples can change their name when they get married, and they have gay marriage now. Same-sex marriage even, if you want the more politically correct term. So same-sex marriage is just like, why is it confusing that either party is opting to change their name? And it just did not seem to be computing for these stupid people who were stuck in the time warp of it's got to be the girl who's changing their name. It's like, no, I'm sorry. When you're dealing with either gender can do this, and it has been either gender can do this for time immemorial, and it's like, oh, come on, people, get with the program. So he's got a little frustrated. He's now got the worst of it done. Although I did notice that he hadn't got his WhatsApp name changed. The little things. Oh, golly. Oh, he stopped. I think he's changing the drill bit. Oh dear, it's going to get noisy again. He was drilling just a second ago. Oh, I missed a pill. What was I going to say? It pissed off the ex no end when Simon changed his Facebook name to his wife's surname. I don't know why. Cracked me up completely, but it really ticked off Dad. Like, that's just hilarious. Yeah, that was really funny. I liked that. I was kind of impressed with his ballsiness, and he stood his ground. I'll leave that. That's one for the vlog. Any elaboration that you get on that one? Anyway. So yeah, training week. I'm back at my old training ground, and he's going to drill in a minute. I'm back at my old training ground, and that means that the catering is all done. No, he's just cranking it up. Okay. I have a few minutes before he gets noisy again. The catering is all done for us though, so the people living in, they actually get breakfast and dinner as well. So being just a day pupil, all I'm getting is the lunch. But on some of the days we had stir fry, we had roast, I think on Wednesday, roast loin, pork loin. Friday was fish and chip Friday, which is an old staple. We had morning tea, which was cheese scones or fruit. Oh, the honeydew melon was dripping sweet. It was delicious. Absolutely gorgeous. So I kind of went for more of that. They didn't chop up apples, but there were apples, there were bananas. They might have had enchiladas for tea, which I didn't stay in for. And not having to cater. Okay, a little bit after, I think it was 2 days later, I kind of went, I kind of missed the not cooking. But the food prep time and all of that, like, there's no way I would have had food prep time to make a roast or anything like that. So I've probably put on weight in the week that I've been down there. Not much, according to the scales, but you know, I ate well, and I did eat too much lunch yesterday. I should have actually gone back to my usual thing of small portion and cut the fish into half and put it onto somebody else's plate, or just not eaten it. But I didn't. So bit of a faux pas there. But because I was down in the area where a friend lives, I had emailed her and caught up with her then on Monday after the day and just had a cup of tea. Oh, it was so nice to catch up with her for a cuppa and see how she was doing and just shoot the breeze. Yeah, really, really nice to see her. And then I think every other day there was something to do, so I had to go to the post office. I've been trying to get this Pippa package off to Brandy over in the States, and it got bounced back to me once, and then it got bounced back to me again after I repackaged it, and then I took it into this post office and I said, look, this is the third time, lucky, I'm trying to get this to the States. And she said, oh, it just looks like it was underpaid. I said, are you sure? Because it's telling, the sticker told me it needs to be going through as a parcel. And she said, well, if I send it through as a parcel, it's $20 odd. This is for my Pippa package, my Vegemite and a couple of Aussie treats that I've been trying to send since the beginning of the year. And I said no. She said it should go through as a large letter and you should be fine. So I said, well, can you use the credit for that stamp towards the package because it's come back to me? I said, yeah, not a problem. So she discounted the stamp payment that I'd already done that was sitting on there, and she paid the balance to hopefully get it stateside. So Brandy, if you're watching, you might finally get it. And I didn't message her this time around because it was just like, oh, I'm so sick of this. I know Melissa finally got hers because she won the Nostapina, and I actually put it in a proper full package and all that kind of jazz, and she got it with the Nostapina in a tube. But I'm hoping this finally gets through. Everyone else has got through okay. Just this one stubborn one is being stubborn. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, if you're interested in trying Vegemite, I can throw some in the post to you. And if you're interested in seeing different reactions of it, then yeah, look at the Pippa package Vegemite challenge would be the magic words to look for on YouTube, because there's probably 15-20 videos out there now, 15-20 creators that have all had Vegemite sent to them. Melissa B and her son Jacob. Melissa actually loved it, and so did he. And allegedly, Crashly's daughter, name has gone blank. Nora loved it. So I actually sent over a groupie thing of a large jar and baseball cap or something for for Nora. I think the Vegemite hat was for Crashly, who hated it. I think she vomited. Yeah, didn't go down so well. But Nora did like it. So yeah, there we go. I'm done for this session. Yeah. So a bit of fun. So yeah, doing the post office, and then had to go to a chemist, get drugs renewed and things like that. So I've been driving myself all week. I've had lots of time in the car where I'm listening to my music. In my music, it's mostly what I call praise and worship music. It's my Christian music. Otherwise, I just listen to whatever Marcus is playing, and that's everything. He's got quite an eclectic music collection. In the car, we don't listen to the radio because the radio is, well, it's not necessarily our music, our kind of music. Sorry, I'm just shuffling my pens now. Yeah. So that's all over. In the academy. Yes, that's all over. Back to work Monday. Be waiting to hear. My ex flew in, I don't know, sometime during the week, waiting to hear that there was a Delta numpty on that plane too. And hoping that he isn't out schmoozing with the family and passing it on, that he wasn't flying next to any idiots, because there seems to be one coming in every day. Yes, that's a bit of a worry on that, but you know, it's going to get in somehow, I suppose. Somebody's going to bring it in, even though they're being very, very careful. I'm all kinds of sore. I'm just leaning there, and it's like, oh, it's a little bit achy. I did a bit of an oops last week, and I have ended up being referred to a cardiologist. I said to my doctor, I said, I was a bit worried that I was having a heart attack last week. I had, sore shoulder blade, and now my shoulder has been sore all day. I don't know what I've done. I also had a sore thumb, and it was just like, when you move a limb or a finger or something out of whack, and it was that kind of sore, and I was like, I'm messaging my friend going, yeah, I've got a sore shoulder, and she's kind of going, uh-oh. And she said, have you got any chest pain? And it's like, no. And she's kind of going, okay, well, that's good then. And it's like, yeah, I think I'm worried, but I'm not worried. Anyway, my GP has referred me to a cardiologist because apparently my EKCG, whichever letter it is, he wasn't quite happy with it. He sent it through and said, oh, that looks fine, but apparently a faxed copy is not as good as an emailed copy. And when he saw the emailed copy, he went, let's have a look at her. So this is the same old guy that my son went to and was referred to, and he has a wealth of experience, like oozing experience. So I'm going to go see him. Made an appointment for early September to see him. And yeah, the reason why I'm triply paranoid is my oldest brother, who is 66 or something. He has just had stents put in. Now my older brother, he also had stents put in years ago, and then he just had them redone. So we've all got high cholesterol. We all are at risk. I think potentially the only, I wouldn't call it a cure, but I have had this told to me by a GP. There is one way of not having the cholesterol lay itself down in the pipework, and that's to have high volume blood rush through the pipes so fast that the shit doesn't have anywhere to stick. Well, the only way to do that is to do high impact exercise, and you can't do that necessarily if you've already got the pipes gummied up. So yeah, I'm not really into intense exercise like that to have the blood pumping through. And to be honest, I don't know how often you have to do that high intensity exercise. So that's a little bit of a concern. And if I knew that it was going to be 10 minutes a day of high impact blood rush kind of, I think it's got to be more than that. I think it's like 20 minutes. And I hate the hot, sweaty, can't breathe kind of feeling anyway. So I don't know. If it was proven, maybe, that was going to keep me from having a heart attack, I don't know. But there was all this dilemma of, you know, mentally kind of battling this, well, do I stick around or do I just check out and just kind of go, you know what, fuck it, I'm not in the headspace for this, kind of carry on. Yeah. I have my moments. My brain has my moments. As my friend was saying, it's the hardwiring of the neuroplasticity in the brain, and unfortunately, having had major depression, those little highways have now been made, and they're more than just little country tracks. They are habit now. And trying to get those highways unused is really difficult. The Bible talks about keeping your every thought captive. Yeah, I was up at 4:30 on Thursday, Friday morning, because I could not capture those thoughts, and my squirrel brain was just churning, and I just went, oh no, I need proper distraction rather than just trying to concentrate on my breathing, trying to just relax in bed, you know, get an hour of rest or whatever. So I just said, fuck it. Got up, stitched. I think I looked at Facebook for a little bit on the couch, but then put a program on, because again, the squirrels are still running around, hamsters. I ended up putting, I think, Hawaii 5-0 on binge and watching the pilot. And the music theme is the same as the original Hawaii 5-0, and I used to watch it ages ago, Bookham Dano, you know, kind of jokes. So I watched that and stitched, and I think I got in 200 stitches before going off to training that day. So yeah, that was a busy session, but yeah, that helped. And hubby was reasonably proud of me for not staying in the hamstering but distracting, and yeah, trying to break that highway pattern that can very easily happen. But yeah, more on the vlog, I guess, on that one, where I get to share. But yeah. I'll finish my tea. I think because I've been training around all the Jeremy people from, you know, west of the state and north of the state, and they're bringing in different germs. My throat was a bit sore by yesterday, and Sophie got out of the shower or bath, and she's kind of going because she hasn't learned how to blow her nose yet. That was funny. So yeah, my throat's still a bit sore. Marcus is saying his glands are up, so it's just like foreign germs that I'm not used to. And then of course I'll go back to my office and get back the officey germs. You know, it doesn't matter how much you're washing your hands or anything else. It's just like, yeah. And everything is being sanitized. Like, you get up from the dining table and you got to sanitize the table and all of that kind of thing. It's the most I've seen of critical awareness. And at work we don't have that. We don't have people cleaning the lunchroom. I haven't seen people cleaning the lunchroom. We're seats apart, not social distancing. Whereas down at the training centre we were social distancing. They've got marks on the floor for lining up for food. It's just like, it's a different world, but it is the only way they've been able to continue to operate is by having these guidelines. I mean, you can't. In my job, you're working closely with your offsider, you know, you passing paper between you or whatever, so you're contaminating your paper. You're handing it to somebody else. They're handing it to you. You know, you're working in a car even, you know, you're traveling together and you're not a meter and a bit apart. You know, when you're driving from one venue to another, or you're just going out and moving paperwork or meeting people and things like that. So it's a weird kind of environment. Yeah. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit kind of Jeremy. See how we go. I know this video is probably going to be shorter than usual because of the edits out with the noisy bits with hubby, but you know, it is what it is. You've got your whip and chat video. Hey, I'm still ticking along. I actually need to do a floss tube, which is going to be huge. That needs to be done too. I will see you around. Please stay safe. Especially, well, I don't actually know where you guys are at with the states. I know you've got states opening and closing and things like that are probably moving. It's very fresh, and we're certainly getting up-to-date news here in Australia. If you're an Aussie watching, please stay safe. Please keep mentally strong. Dealing with the lockdowns, connect with people, video chat, craft, keep busy, keep sane, but keep talking with people, with friends, with family. Don't isolate. Yeah, just connect, whether it's by watching YouTube or taking part in chats or chatting on lives, you know, even in the text, or making your own Facebook rooms. Please stay connected, stay mentally safe, mentally healthy even, with things. Enjoy what you can from your home. Get out on the deck, get out on your balconies, get out and feel the sun on your face. I know people are still able to exercise within distance from their homes, so take a walk down the road. You know, just mask up if you can, if you need to, or go places that you don't need to have a mask on, like your own deck, your own backyard. But please stay mentally healthy at this time, and hang in there. I think it's the 6th lockdown for the Melbourne Victorian state. They are saying that there's mental fatigue now happening. If you need to, please call the hotlines, the agencies that are there to support you, if you're really not coping, or you know somebody else who's not coping, because they will give you some strategies to do that. I actually found a card, and I'll try and remember this properly. because this is something that my psychologist does with me at the end of every session, and it's, tell me 5 things that you can see. Tell me 4 things you can hear. Tell me 3 things you can smell. And tell me 2 things you can touch. And tell me 1 thing that you can taste, if you can taste. Or 1 thing good about you, I think was the thing. And you know what? It's good that it's 1 thing good about you, because when you're in a bad place mentally, you don't necessarily think of good things to think about yourself. So coming up with 1 is, you know, a bit of a thing. And, you know, it could be that it's just like, I can do this. I'm mentally stronger having had the debrief session, the chance to unwind. There was a lovely meme I saw the other day, and it was 2 women in armchairs, and over the head of one was a tangled thing of wool of 3 colors, and over the other woman were 3 sorted yarn balls, and the person listening was sorting out the tangle of the other person. And okay, actually what happens in a psychology session for me, I think that's what most psychologists will do, is you talk, they listen, they ask you questions, and you actually solve some of the issues yourself. They might give you some coping strategies, but you actually, in your thought process of unloading, sort out a lot of your own issues. And it's just a way of helping you learn that skill. And I think it's a very valuable skill to learn. So it could be that, you know, I'm having a bad day and nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I'm just going to go and eat worms. And the psychologist talks about, well, hey, what did you do this week? Did you get up? Look, you came to the appointment. Did you shower? Did you brush your hair? Did you do your teeth? You're here. You made it here. And just having that little glimpse of, I made it to something. I did have this success. It gives you a bit of faith in yourself. And I think that's really, really valuable, to believe in yourself when you feel that nobody believes in you, including you. But by the end of it, you kind of go, you know what? I actually did that. I did a thing. As I call it, it's the 1-step program. It's just taking 1 step. Just 1 step. And over time, you look back and you go, look how far I've come. Just by taking 1 step. And if you can't take a step, you stand. You just stand. You don't go backwards. You just stand and you rest and you recoup and you gather, and then at some point in time, you're ready to take a step again. It doesn't have to be a big step. It just has to be a step. You know, so yeah, hang in there. Hang in there. All right, there are my words of wisdom for the end. If you made it this far, thank you, and I will see you around on the tubes in my next couple of videos. All right, bye for now. Take care. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.